Hello, everyone. I haven't written or done a video in quite a while about weather and being people who use wheelchairs. I I haven't done one in a while because usually people skip over and don't review it. But I think it is really important to be weather prepared or disaster prepared. And sometimes we think we're invincible, and we're not. We have had terrible weather this year around the world, not just here in the United States, but in the Middle East and Africa. It's been wild. And the first thing that comes to mind is people who, uh, you know, don't have the strength, to be able to get out of the way of the disaster, whether it is a dam break, whether it is a bad weather coming their way. I can't even imagine what a person in a wheelchair would do in that case, whether they're in a first world country or in a third world country. And there are some things you just can't prevent, such as an earthquake, dam break. Sometimes things just happen. But if they're warning you about something, a potential whatever, be prepared. Think about what you can do. What kind of kit can you put together? What kind of packet can you put together that you can grab in a last minute second and get out of the way? Whether it's a tornado, whether it's a hurricane, whether it is mudslides, or you know. So I think that I care enough to do this video yet again. I know a lot of people don't look at it, but it's there. My effort is there, and I want you to kind of think about what kind of things you can do to if you're being warned about the weather, or you're being warned about a nearby earthquake and it's going to get worse, or there's going to be a blackout of electricity. All those things. you know and people who use wheelchairs, we have sometimes other needs. So it's not just being in the wheelchair, it's medications, it's equipment. That sometimes we need other pieces of equipment. So I really want to encourage all of us to think about, how we can keep ourselves safe. I talk a lot about this in other videos, and I always want and hope that you remain safe no matter what you do. So let's talk a little bit about, weather, because usually we have the news around the world usually is pretty good. So let's talk about things that you can do if you know that um, there's going to be a hurricane, or there's going to be a torrential rain, and if you need to get out of the way or go up to the mountains, or, go down to the valley, whatever it is, wherever it is that's going to be safe, you know, put together a backpack, with essential things that you would need, water, some snacks, and some 2-3 day clothing, and throw in your medications or other equipment, at the last minute. Um, keep it by the door, or keep it, where you can grab it from your bedroom, or a special place in the living room, wherever you think that you can just wheel over there and grab it and say, okay, I'm getting out of here. This is not good. So, truly, I think about, whether, and the first thing that comes to mind, when there's a big fire, any one of those catastrophic situations, I think about the people with disabilities, and listen to that sentence. It's people who have disabilities, and they're going to need some assistance. you could even do a pact with your neighbors or with a family member. If XYZ happens, can you come by and pick me up? I was in the earthquake of, what year was it? 91, I think it was, in, 89. And they call it the San Francisco earthquake, but really it didn't start in San Francisco. It started in, up above. The name is escaping me, but you know what earthquake I'm talking about, the one in which the bridge collapsed and all that kind of stuff. I was in Los Gatos, and I was right below the hill, the mountain where that earthquake started, and my neighborhood was just wiped out. And I did have like a little backpack, and I put some stuff in there, and I got my landlord. I dragged her out. My brother came to pick us up, and we left. And my landlord did have to go back because she had to get some medications, and it was hard because they banned us from going in. The roads were really damaged. Gas lines were broken. Water was pouring out from everywhere, so it was pretty bad. Houses were destroyed, so it was difficult. It was sad. It was shocking, all those kind of things. So Santa Cruz, that's where it started, not San Francisco. So Santa Cruz, so that's where really it started, and it came down the mountain like this, and then in my neighborhood, it hit one house, missed the next, hit the next one, missed the next. So every other house was gone. And my house where I was renting would have been next. But what happened was the wave just hit the corner of the house and then knocked down our neighbor's house. So it was crazy, absolutely crazy. But anyway, I did have a little backpack kind of ready. I used to work with the Red Cross for a little while when my early years when I was young and beautiful. So I usually have a little something, a little backpack, and it just ready to go. So I want to encourage everybody to do that, whether it's a backpack, whether it's a little bag, whether it is a little toolbox, whatever's going to be convenient for you. Something you can just throw over your wheelchair and just go to get out of the way. If you can help somebody else, well, great. But if not, just get on those wheels and get rolling. And people say, I didn't know. And a lot of us don't watch the news. We're doing other things. And I think that it's a good habit to watch the news these days, especially because the weather is just gotten out of the pattern that we know, because of climate change and everything else. The weather situation has gotten very aggressive and more than we can handle. So I think it's really important. I used to have like a list that I would mention here, but I can refer or stick those videos at the end here so you can take a look at those, because those are more in detail. But I really just want, in this video, I just want to encourage you to really consider being prepared for if you go to the hospital or you have to get out of the way of a storm, or if a dam is going to break and you're in the way, you're in the path. Just get that bag and go somewhere safe, or have somebody pick you up, take you to a shelter, take you to your mom's house, take you to, anywhere where that dam is not going to wash you away. So this is what this video is about, just encouragement for you to be aware of your surroundings, to be aware of the weather, of, the conditions, of, tremors, constant tremors, those alerts of possible earthquake, because we don't have a way to predict earthquakes yet. Maybe someday, but not yet. But What else? Yeah, those torrential rains. It's been awful, and sometimes we can be right smack dab in the path of those situations. So here in the Midwest, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I live, it's been calm, so quiet. So, but we're in that change of weather from summer to fall and fall to winter, and that period can be pretty bumpy. So, it's that time of year where, we have to be a little bit more alert, when there's going to be a big storm or whatever, I pull out my flashlights or whatever I need and make sure that, because I'm hearing impaired, that my batteries for my cochlear implants, make sure they're charged and ready to be used. Because if we lose electricity due to a storm, at least, I have those, even though, people know how to communicate with me, and it's okay. It's not going to affect my health that much. But if I had to run out of here without my cochlear implants, people are going to have to write a lot to me to be able to communicate. But yeah, consider gathering a few little things and making sure they're in a place where you know where it is, and a place where you know that you can grab and go. Seriously, I think that, when we have to deal with our person, not only our person, but, then the disability, it can get a little complicated, it can get a little bumpy. We don't move as fast. So let's think about this together, put down some suggestions, put down some ideas that you have, put down things that you've already done that have been helpful to you in terms of a grab and go bag or box or, a backpack that you've already done and it's ready to go. So let's keep that in mind. Let's be a little bit more alert, of our surroundings, of the weather, of things that could be harmful for us, or even our health. I think some of us, our health kind of goes up and down, and we all of a sudden we fall, we have other issues, and we have to go to the hospital. So to have that little bag ready, so that we're prepared. I have a little signs and stuff, and when I'm sick, when I'm ill, I keep those close by because I take those to the hospital. It says, I can communicate very well with my cochlear implants. However, if they're not on, forget it. I can't hear you. So I stick that on the door in the hospital. So it's just those little things that sometimes makes life a little bit easier. And especially these weather patterns are really harsh, really unpredictable. So let's keep aware of our environment. Let's watch the news as often as we can, and look out that window and make sure that nothing's going to come down that you didn't know about, and have agreements with people. If something gets really bumpy, if they can come your way, pick you up and take you out of harm's way. So let's see if this works. Let's see if we can make some comments and share ideas, and be ready. Be ready. And I think what's it called? The Department of, I'll have to put the link down below, but it is a department here in the United States that has quite a few videos on how to stay safe if you have a disability. So it gives a ton of ideas on, how to pack your backpack or your little bag or your toolkit to pick up and go. So I'll put those links down below too, so you can watch those. I won't go through all the details of, put this in the bag, put that in the bag, because everybody's different. Everybody has different needs, in terms of what you can carry or what you really need to carry, what is absolutely essential for you, because everybody's a little different. And these videos really give you some good ideas. And and talk to the family. If you live with a family, or if you live alone, even more important to have that ready to go. All right, I'll leave it at that. I'll put some good links down below. And as usual, I hope you are well, that you stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.